Action. Here we are at the lovely Chala House Bar and Grill with Shae Hunte. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and this is our Charitable Conversations. So Shae, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background.
I am a student, I'm a songwriter, I'm a worship leader. I really love God. And I own this organization, soon to be a social entrepreneur.
What is your organization?
It's called Professional Volunteer. Basically, I do promotionals for organizations that would like to get their volunteer work or ask for more volunteers out there. We don't just do promotions, but we go to the organization, we see what they do, who they are, we ask questions, who's behind the organization, how do they impact Barbados, how do they get their things across, stuff like that.
That's amazing. That's really good quality work. I have a charity myself, Build Up BIM, so it's welcome to see that people are opening avenues and channels for various people to get involved. And why would you say that this kind of work is so important, especially among the youth of the country right now?
It's more about giving back, not necessarily materialism or materialistic things, but into the hearts and minds and souls of the youth. Like, there was a man, he said that he didn't know he was poor until he went to school. And I think that's like hope, because a lot of people don't know what hope is until they experience it. So if you necessarily go into the hood or wherever, the ghetto or whatever you want to call it, the less fortunate, whatever you want to call it, if you go up in there and you give them food, also give them an inspirational word. Do not be limited. Come on, you're gonna get through this. It's gonna be better than this. I think that giving back is not necessarily limited to what we give materialistically. I don't know if that's the right word, but
definitely, yeah.
What we say and what we do.
No, very well said. You mentioned early on in the conversation that you have faith in God, and what part do you think that plays in your whole efforts to give back to the community?
I feel like, honestly, without God, you can't do anything. That's my feelings. That's me personally. I feel like if you become everything that you want to be in life, and you become this great person, you become a singer, you reach everything that you expected to reach in your life, without God, there's still limits. And that's what I think. And I'm saying that's what I think because there are a lot of people that will try to come against God, but it's what I think and what I believe. And I believe that God is true. I believe that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I believe that when He places something in me, I'm supposed to execute it. Even if it fails, if it was not supposed to be, then it will fail. And if it was supposed to be, then it will not fail, because then He will make way for it. He will make a way of escape, as the Bible says. So me playing a role in my country is just this organization.
It is Saturday, but that was your Sunday sermon. So tell us a little bit about the organizations that you've come across so far in your work then. Have you come across like any charitable organizations or NGOs that really stuck out to you and what they do?
Honestly, I am very biased. I really like the Barbados Endometriosis Society, that's the Barbados Association of Endometriosis and PCOS, because of what they do with women's work and empowerment. But I also like charities that really stick out to me are charities that want to see change in places that don't look like if they can be changed, like Operation Ceasefire by Justice of Peace Janelle Brown, things that don't look like if they can be, and then by some supernatural means, some kind of unsystematic means, something that does not look like if it's supposed to be there, they come and they change it.
You want to expand into Operation Ceasefire a little bit more? Because I don't think most people watching have heard of it.
Operation Ceasefire is more about crime prevention in Barbados. They go out, they help people all over neighborhoods, they give to the disabled. I think there was a testimonial where they had fixed a disabled house. They make tennis courts for the youth so that they would have places to play so that they won't be idle, because you know idle work makes bad means. Yeah. So, and as people would say, what is it, that lack of opportunities create crime? So it's more like giving people opportunities who don't have opportunities, or preventing crime through unconventional means, which would be giving back.
Operation Ceasefire is indeed a great initiative. I know Janelle, we worked together at the Irving Wilson School for the Disabled, putting on some events for them. Shout out to him all the time. He's been doing some great work in the last couple of months. And yeah, I've also heard about the Endometriosis Society that you mentioned. they were finalists for Activist of the Year in the Going On Awards. You want to go into a little bit about what they do?
I did not know that they did all of that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
They were a finalist in the Activist of the Year. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations to them.
Mm-hmm.
What they do, well, I'd have to give you their mission statement. I do not want to quote wrong. But what I've seen them do is really educate women on what they didn't know about. Because a lot of women in Barbados did not know about endometriosis and PCOS, and that painful periods are not normal. And I want to repeat that because painful periods are not normal. So people should know that. They educate, they inform, they make sure that you know, they make sure that you come together as a family. They are a very family-like unit. I really love them for that. And they make sure that you feel like a warrior woman. I remember there was a young lady, she was outside crying, and almost everyone that came out stopped and asked her if she was okay. And I just find that unity is what really makes their organization and what really makes them who they are. So I really appreciate them for that.
Well said. So you said that you're a student and you go to University of West Indies right now?
Yes, I do. Well, not yet.
Oh,
going in August.
Going in August. Okay. So you're a full-time student pretty much your whole life then so far.
Yeah.
So how do you find balance between doing all of this optional charitable work and then focusing on the main priority at hand, which is your studies?
Just like everybody else, time management. If you don't put things in place to get where you want to be, then you will always be stuck. And there was a time in my life that I did not have any time management, and everything was spontaneous for me. I would just pick up my book, revise, and choose to go outside afterwards, or eat breakfast, or watch TV. And it was very spontaneous for me, but it wasn't reaching my full potential of where I needed to be. So put time limits in place, get your time together, get your act together, and then pop off, as the Bajans would say it.
Well said. Okay. What are you going to study when you go into university?
I would like to study sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, possibly transfer from science and technology into MABS at UE. And
that's medicine, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Which is medicine. So I would like to go from there to there. But everything's a process in life, and I'm just taking my time in my process. I like to talk about my results more than I like to talk about my process.
No, yes, that's very true. A lot of people talk a lot of talk, but at the end of the day, all you can live by is your actions. So how do you think that medical career will help impact your work in the charitable and NGO space then in the future?
I think I'd have more knowledge. Gaining knowledge is very important, and if I chose to put on this career, if this happened to fail in any way, because you can't really tell the future unless you have God.
Yes.
Yes,
definitely.
But if I was to put this down, if this was to fail, I feel like that experience would make me raise up a new organization. I find that a lot of people that do sciences, they're now trying to help prevent the spread of non-communicable diseases, and possibly maybe I will raise up my own organization to prevent something like that. And I mean, I read a lot, so I would find something in my hypertension book, maybe in my USMLE book, maybe studying would put something in my mind, studying biochemistry, maybe a catalyst, a microbiome, something would start to change in my mind, and then I would figure out an organization to help this. But the most important part of it was gaining that knowledge to elevate and accelerate, you know?
Oh, well said. I mean, you're a very impressive young lady. You care a lot about your country at such an early age, and that's very commendable. It's very hard to find a lot of people in this space so passionate about it so early on in their life. What would you tell other young people that are looking to get into the charitable space and the non-governmental space?
Don't give up, and don't let anybody tell your idea is dumb. Don't let anybody tell you your idea is stupid. Honestly, do not give up. It is hard to be a young person that wants to accelerate. It's hard to be a young person that wants to grow in this industry, especially with people out there that are telling you that you can't do this, but you have to learn your stuff. They're telling you you can't, you don't have the recommendations, you don't have the qualifications for this, but you also have to learn your stuff. And it can be hard for a young person, but I want you to know to don't give up, because if you give up, they win. And if they win, then you lose. It's a simple equation. If they win, you lose. And if you lose, they win. So I want you to know to don't give up and try your hardest. And if you have an idea, make sure that you call the YES scheme in Barbados. Make sure that you call the youth, ask them what they can do for you. Find a governmental person that talks their talk. Find someone that says, I'm going to do this for the youth, and make sure that they hold their promises, remind them what they said, and call them up. bother people. Make sure that you bother a lot of people. Make sure that you know your stuff. Make sure that you learn stuff. If you do not find these people, if you don't have anybody around you, find out. He'll help you. He'll hook you up.
The passion of your words, I really admire them. So, what do you think are some of the major issues facing the youth in Barbados right now?
Lack of guidance, lack of opportunities, especially for the disabled. We need to push disabilities more often. A lot of people like to walk away from disabilities or call it like sometimes not important. It is important. Those that are deaf, those that are blind, those that are on the neurodivergent spectrum, those that have autism, all of us are important and all of us make this country. We shouldn't just skip past them because we don't want to deal with it. On another note, ageism. I think that is something that stops the youth from getting opportunities as well, because you can have degrees at a young age, but because of your age they don't want to adhere to you. They don't want a manager that is younger than them to be talking to them because they don't believe that those people have the experience for it. But it's not about the experience, it's about the education, as you see in Barbados. So why not just push young people in general? Why not just push young people in general? I think that we're so limited by our age in Barbados. Like, whereas people don't want an older manager than them, people don't want young people that are younger than them to be over them. And this is not to offend anybody, but it is the truth. When you hear a young person has 3 degrees at a young age, you automatically think money instead of hard work, and that needs to be dismantled. Because sometimes young people come from low income homes and we work so hard that we burn out. Then we get depressed and we end up on blocks. And I say we because this is a country and we are all in it together. Sometimes we push ourselves in low income families. We push ourselves so hard and we get all of these CXCs, and then when we get to university, we're already burnt out from expectations. And I think that maybe if we were to give the youth an opportunity to be who they are at their age, and who we think that, instead of who we think that they should be at that age, then it would be a lot better in Barbados. You understand what I'm saying?
No, that was amazing. It is often overlooked a lot because society tends to almost shy away from disabled people. We tend to almost be scared of them. They overwhelm us. And we definitely need to break the stigma around that, because they are the most vulnerable members in society, especially the youth that are disabled. And we need to all rally together to make sure that they get the help that they deserve. So our conversation has been great here today, Charitable Conversations. Look forward to the next episode. But if we wanted to close out with just some words of motivation for the youth around CARICOM on a whole, what would you tell them?
I don't have words of motivation because I'm not somebody that would come and tell you, you can do it, and then you get up the next day and burn out. I don't like to give a false narrative of life, and I don't like to tell people like something one day and then they give up the next day. They want something long lasting, and that's usually less of like motivation and more advice. So what I tell the youth is to put God first, because without God you're not doing anything. Psalms 46:5 says, God is with her, she shall not fail. And there's a lot of scriptures that you could, instead of affirming on a morning saying that I will be great, you could say that through Christ I will reach what I need to do. Where it says, greater is he within me than he that is in the world. I will always tell you to put God first, because he is a limitless God and you in your own flesh is limited. Secondly, I will tell you to gain as much knowledge as you can, call as much people as you can. Make sure that you are resilient in what you believe in and stand firm on what you believe in, and don't let anybody just push you around. Make sure that you have boundaries. Even if you want to be a nice person, there's nothing wrong with being a nice person. There's nothing wrong with being kind. There's nothing wrong with being generous. You just need to have boundaries. And then thirdly, I'd like to say that was put God first, gain knowledge, and be relentless. Chase your dreams. Keep running. And I guess this is the motivational part, but keep running, guys. Don't ever stop, because the day that you stop is the day that you stop growing. And that's all I'm going to say.
God is within her. She cannot fail. Miss Hunt, really appreciate the time and look forward to the next Charitable Conversations.